Welcome back to Pullman Yards. Now time for Rock, Paper, Scissors, brought to you by Wendy's. And we get a star-studded RPS. Here's Josh McCouga.
This is your first playoff game. Are you guys ready? Let's go. Aoki, Board A Football Club. We do not toss coins, we throw hands. For the Board A Football Club, we have NFL Hall of Famer Ed Reed. For Aoki, we have DJ Drama. We go rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Are you ready? Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper covers rock, Board Ape. They want to defer. Aoki starts with the ball. Playoff game one. Let's go, fan-controlled football. Let's go.
The hard hitter, Ed Reed, stepping in to win rock, paper, scissors. Now, both of these teams fare well when they receive the football. To start, both are undefeated. That's obviously going to end tonight.
Which is wild because Ed Reed won the toss here for Board A Football Club, and they're deferring. So it's going to have this bodes well if we're going based off of useless historical.
They must not know their own
like
records.
Yeah, you don't know the stats. You don't know the stats.
Someone who knows all the stats.
Yeah.
The fourth member of our team. Here's Liv Moots.
You, the fans, voted for the Board Apes to receive the Liv Moots t-shirt curse for this game, so we'll see how that plays out. As for the energy in Pullman Yards, we are used to a cool and calm composure from the Board Apes, but not so much from Aoki. And I went up to Mitch Kidd to grab a comment from him before the game. He gave me a very confident look, a fist bump, and walked away. Aoki is locked in, and so is Mitch Kidd. We're about to have a really, really good game.
Good stuff. Thanks, Liv. We'll keep an eye on the Liv Moots curse as well, as we have our fans in the fan intel zone ready to tap in and call plays here on site.
Boy, they would get two players sitting.
Let's take a look at our starters now, brought to you by Experian Boost. We told you all about Kidd and Boykin and Francois and Baker. Malcolm Ballard, though, guys, tearing it up. 10 touchdowns on the ground, Shazier.
He's a running back that snuck his way in and showed everybody what he can do. He started off the season a little bit slow, but he had that 5-touchdown game and just showed everybody who he is.
And then, Degon, these defensive groups, especially Board Ape, the two leading tacklers in the league.
Oh, yes. I love this. You got also two of them leading interceptors in Mike Lee and Quantez Stiggers. Heavy hitters is going to be great to watch here for Board Football Club.
And we are underway, and it's Mitch Kidd keeping things on the ground, and he is tackled by Quantez Stiggers, part of this stellar heavy hitters defense. Now, for as good as the Board Ape Football Club has been, this is their first time going with this defensive package.
Yeah, I'm so used to seeing them work with the hitmen, Stuyvesant Latham, who is also tied for that interception lead, but this time heavy hitters now playing for the Board A Football Club. Do we take a look at some of the power-ups here in fan control football? We got the Gatorade power play, where the defense has to remove one player from their side for part of the drive or until there's a score. The Wendy's flip the field, our version of the punt, where the other team will receive the ball on the 10-yard line, and the very cool progressive fifth down, which does exactly what it says it does, unlike anything else in pro football.
Only here in the FCF as we look at Mitch Kidd, and we'll highlight some of what he's wearing here, all part of his custom Mitchization that went down yesterday, voted on by you, the fans. And here's the give to Ballard, trying to turn that corner, and a burst up the right sideline before he's pushed out by Mike Lee. Lee's second in the FCF, coming into tonight with 41 tackles.
Malcolm Ballard on this play does a nice job of bouncing outside. He has like the Trenchman been doing all season, developing a nice line and allowing him to bounce outside, and gives him 2nd and 1. Any drive that starts off in a 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2, you're ahead of the chains right now. So the offense, you literally can do anything because you're kind of playing with house money.
Yeah, think about this so far. It's been all on the ground. We haven't even had the chance for Mitch to throw it yet, and now he has, what, 3 downs theoretically to take multiple different shots here. It's only 1 yard they need to gain. Again, Aoki coming into today has led the league in pass attempts. The next closest were the Zappers because they were always behind in their games, whereas Aoki, this is their MO, and we've seen them evolve a little bit here with the emergence of Malcolm Ballard, running a little more.
Here's Kidd. We'll see if a throw is coming. Here's an opportunity. Kidd in the pocket, throwing, and that is short. He was looking for Boykin. When you see Mitch Kidd has passed for 800 yards coming into the night, you'd expect him to pass all the time, but we've seen that balance as we look at our officiating crew. Trentus Livingston, the white hat tonight, Marquez Thomas, Toot Willingham, and Robert Hampton rounding out your officiating crew in this one. We want to give a big thanks to our FCF broadcast partners, to everyone watching at twitch.tv/FCF, on NBCLX, on Peacock, and you can access NBCLX there through the channels option, and of course our international viewers on DAZN.
Greg, I love the fact that in the playoffs we get 30 minutes instead of 20 minutes. So normally during the regular season it's 2 20-minute halves. Well, now we actually have 2 30-minute halves. So I'm really looking forward to it because we have 2 high-powered offenses and high-powered defenses. So let's see how this one ends up turning out.
And the added wrinkle to that, all the package units now only playing 1 game. So we always talk about them going twice in a day. They can empty the tank here in these 2 30-minute halves. Third and 1 now for Aoki on this opening drive. Kidd will keep it himself. He'll get the first down and pushed out a play there by Mike Lee.
Aoki fans, this is a good play call just to make sure that you get the first down. You don't ever want to get into the situation where it's a 4th and 1 or 5th and 1. So watch Mitch Kidd reads the DN and then just make sure he gets the yards. He doesn't want to take a big hit from Mike Lee. He took a few this year, so he's trying to make sure that he can stay healthy for his team.
Yeah, and specifically that guy, Mike Lee, has given a few this year as well. This whole heavy hitters defense, their defensive backfield are just great tacklers, willing to make the big hits, and we're not even talking about the leading tackler, one of the heaviest hitters that we have in the whole league, Cecil Cherry at linebacker, willing to get in there. The D-line is usually where you can find some success against this heavy hitter squad, which is why we've seen a lot of the run so far, but they've stepped up their game too recently.
This heavy hitters defensive group you've been talking about, 8-6 on the year. Remember, 2 games a day coming into today for every package group. We see a little jump here. Well, now Grogan will just step across and push the center down to make sure a flag is delivered. Yet a lot of guys pointing fingers.
Opposite, I'm going to wait for the ref.
First start, offense, number 9, 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Like I was saying, offenses, they like to see this man jump and then try to flinch and act like he caused them to jump. No, this is a false start. I love this call right here because normally you will see it go the other way.
Yeah, and Coach Liato is on the sideline yelling at Kamali Matthews, who's one of my favorite offensive linemen in the whole league. He's a very, very smart, methodical lineman. Yelling at him, you got to snap the ball once he jumps, because then you get the offsides and the free play. But if you don't snap the ball, then they're able to get back and reset, which is what we saw.
T.O. in the house tonight. His Knights of D-Gen eliminated last weekend, but here to support. And, of course, the T.O. Zone airing this evening on the Fubo Sports Network. As we set up now in a 1st and 15 after the 5-yard penalty to go against Aoki. Opening drive here. Remember, 30-minute halves here in the postseason. Kidd all day.
Lots of time.
Mitch Kidd roaming, and now he'll look to take it himself, and he is out of play a little shy of the 10-yard line. So great coverage downfield by the Board 8 Football Club.
This heavy hitters defense do a good job of just playing man coverage. They have the safety over top. Mitch actually misses his tight end going across the middle, and unfortunately he's going to want that one back. But he steps up into the pocket, which allow him time to get downfield and just actually gets about 10 yards to make this back a 2nd and 7 situation. I'm sorry about that, 2nd and 7 situation. And this is exactly where the Aokis want to be, because with their offense, they're very fast-paced type of offense.
And you can see what I was talking about earlier, the matchup between the O-line and the D-line here. Again, heavy hitters, they're willing to make the coverage, they're willing to make the tackles, but that D-line has to get some pressure onto a quarterback like Mitch Kidd, because generally Mitch doesn't make those bad decisions. He'll go ahead, tuck in and run if he needs to.
Aoki working with the Trenchman unit again. They had them in week 7 as it's Ballard running right, and he is still on his feet, and then finally Cecil Cherry is there. Looked as if he'd be stopped at the 10, and Cherry had to finish that play off, but it will be still shy of a first down.
Heavy hitters is making it difficult for this run game there's been a lot of solid runs throughout this drive, but they were either quarterback-driven runs and not organized runs, or if Malcolm Ballard gets the ball, they're making him make 2 or 3 guys miss. And when you have a running game like that, or a defense that's making you make 2 or 3 guys miss, later on in the game, those turn into fumbles and turnovers. So I know the heavy hitters just want to continue to make this really difficult for this running game.
So now setting up a 3rd and 3 here. Ball is right on the 10, right on the start of the progressive blue zone for Aoki here. Lengthy drive to start. We got a flag on the play. Movement.
False start, offense, 74. 5-yard penalty, remain 3rd down.
It'll again go against Aoki and the offensive line.
We're good.
We haven't seen a lot of penalties this season for false starts, offensive penalties. But one thing about penalties, they can kill a drive. And if you really think about it, this is 10 extra yards of this drive that they're losing right now. So in football, we like to say, if you get a holding penalty, that kills a drive. And you don't want to be killing drives right now.
We're already into the playoffs. Yeah, we're already in the playoffs, and you can see we had a major jump here in our Aoki fans. We had King Apollo come out here last week as the top Fan IQ fan and call the showdown 1v1 that led to Aoki making it on in. But right now, it's Jay Libs leading the way by a lot of points here. Again, you collect your Fan IQ by getting the play calls correct.
Timeout.
The team runs the play.
Aoki, first time out.
That's
for the first half.
Major jump right there up the leaderboard. In the meantime, we've got a timeout on the field. 3rd and 8 when we return for Aoki. A 3rd and 8. Aoki, 35 yards thus far, all on the ground. You can knock 10 off of that due to penalties. And here they go on a 3rd and 8 on the 15. Trying to have the first score in our first semifinal. Kidd facing the rush, gets rid of it, finds Ballard, coughs it up, loose ball, and referees are blowing this one dead. That was recovered eventually by Kamali Matthews, but a whistle around the 20.
Cecil Terry just did the squirrel dance, and the squirrel dance is Ray Lewis
Moving on the
dance.
field is an incomplete pass.
Ray Lewis is his godfather.
Yep.
So it must be nice to do that dance. But right here, this was all Cecil Cherry. They did a screen move. They did a screen. So a screen is when you slip behind the lineman and try to get in the blockers. But Cecil Cherry does a good job of slipping behind the lineman and being right in position for Malcolm Ballard not to be able to come down with this catch.
Yeah, and if it was a fumble, I think Ballard did a great job still fighting for the ball there to at least get it going. If it does go to fan review here, they did recover. Kamali Matthews, I think, picked it up.
Yeah, ruled incomplete to start, so to your point, either way, Aoki came up with the football as Matthews was there. Remember, 30-minute halves here in the postseason. This is the first of 2 tonight as we're into the playoffs, vying to reach our People's Championship game next Saturday to close out season 2.0.
I know both of these quarterbacks are happy because they have the best defense on both of these squads and the best O-lines for both of these squads right now.
See if Mitch Kidd can work with that O-line. Cherry on the run. Kidd to the end zone, tipped away. Stigger's there to knock it from Boykin. Buckle up.
Quantez.
The fans are voting for a progressive 5th down.
Quantez making the play with the ball in the air, but again, it's Cecil Cherry just coming untouched right up the middle, right into Mitch Kidd's face, and Mitch Kidd has to throw this one off his back foot. It's just a very difficult situation when you're in 4th down and Cecil Cherry's on the other side of the ball.
Let's take a look at this replay, courtesy of Great Clips. Look great, feel great, perform great, and Cecil Cherry making sure Mitch Kidd doesn't feel too great.
Yeah, when you have the nominee for Defensive Player of the Year coming right down your face, it's really hard to make an accurate throw. But he has Quantez Stigger on the back end who has great coverage. He put his hands right between Boykins, and when you have somebody like Stiggers who leads the league or tied with the league in interceptions,
Fans have
it's really
confirmed
hard.
progressive 5th down.
So the
The
fans
offense have one play to make the line of game to continue their series.
Fans vote for progressive 5th down. Degon, thoughts on using this one at this moment?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this one. It's not that close. You know, generally you like to try and use it when it's 4th and 3, 4th and 2, 4th and 1. But I think wanting to set the tone early is good. Just make sure you get the value on this one. And it's difficult because it's a passing scenario, and you just saw Quantez Stickers was all over Joseph Boykin, the #1 option here for Aoki. And this defense, these defensive backs have done a great job in the pass game so far. Like you said earlier, all the yards have been on the ground.
This drive now more than 10 minutes long for Aoki. They have had the football since the beginning of this contest. Using their progressive 5th down, it's one and done. Here they go on 5th down and 8. 3 receiver option here for Mitch Kidd. He'll have time again. Kidd dropping back, directing traffic, running out of options. Now let's fly. Kidd to the corner of the end zone. Incomplete is the ruling. Looking for Patrick Smith. Official says no catch. Smith vehemently calling for a review. We'll have a second look.
Oh, man.
Smith came up immediately looking for a review.
It was hard to tell from the booth up here, but to me, that was a catch. The Trenchmen do a great job of just having a solid pocket. Mitchell Kidd just plays around in the pocket, sits around the pocket, just stays calm, give it to one of his best receivers. I don't see the ball move.
This will be a good angle.
There we go. But does he possess it once it hits the ground?
The fans are reviewing the play.
All right, there we go.
That's not a touchdown. That's definitely a catch in my eyes.
Yeah, his feet are in, but the ball never crosses the plane. So fans, that's not a touchdown. Imagine the touchdown line goes infinitely left and right, but it doesn't go forward. So although his feet are in, the ball's short, but that looked like a catch. I don't know if we have any other angles. I can't see what it looks like when he goes down.
This play is under further review.
And this is where it's so important. How is the question phrased to the fans, right? The question is, or what it should be, is it a catch, not is it a touchdown, right?
Correct.
After further review, the ruling on the field is reversed to a catch at the half-yard line, 1 yard line, 1st and goal.
So that's quickly overturned. Ruled a catch for Patrick Smith down to the 1 yard line. Remember, no half-yard placements here in the FCF, and that sets up a 1st and goal inside the progressive blue zone. And even though it was a touch risky, it works for Aoki to use that 5th down.
Aoki fans, in my thoughts, I'm believing that they understand that they have one of the best defenses in the league. So they just trust in their defense, understanding that they have a great defense, and they're going for the shot.
21 big.
So that's the first reception of the game here for Aoki. Comes on the overturn. Kidd connecting with Patrick Smith.
Yeah, remember that came around in more of like playground style, not the routes and looking sharp. It's been a little tough here for Aoki.
1st and goal now. The give to Ballard, and he is taken down from behind. Tobias Cook is there to stop that touchdown.
This is an awesome play by Tobias Cook. Malcolm Ballard trying to bounce outside. Everybody in the league understands that he likes to bounce outside, and Tobias just makes sure that he's in position. You're not going to outrun me right now. Watch as Ballard tries to bounce it out, and Cook just runs him down from the backside. And if you don't block that backside guy, it's really easy for them to run down the play.
Tobias Cook, more than 25 tackles coming into tonight. Again, part of this absolutely stellar heavy hitters defense that the Board 8 Football Club picked up this week leading into the postseason.
If I'm an Aoki fan, just keep pounding the ball. Just keep pounding the ball here. All your yards have been on the ground. You've had most success against this D-line here. Let's see him here and stick it down.
2nd and goal now from the progressive blue zone. Back to Ballard. This time he won't be denied. Malcolm Ballard is in for the touchdown.
Like we've been talking about this whole drive, Aoki just keeping the ball on the ground and just allowing them the opportunity to be able to score a touchdown right now.
For a 2-point try.
Second look here, courtesy of Grey Clips. Shazier, this drive went over 13 minutes. As good as this defense is, they eventually get tired, yes?
Yeah, any defense, after a while, you just wear and tearing them it really causes them to wear down. And we had seven runs, 4 passes. That was 11 plays.
2-point try.
11 plays can really wear down on the defense, and especially when you think that you stopped them and they got another opportunity.
Here's Smith looking for the 2-point conversion. Kidd, a little hesitation. Smith tries to come back for it, incomplete. Stiggers there and no call.
Yeah, that pass looked a little out of sync. Mitch Kidd kind of like pumped like twice there and then finally let it go. I think this passing offense today hasn't quite hit the stride that we know that they can. But thank goodness they got themselves Malcolm Ballard a good offensive line to get some yardage.
So we're going to see how it pans out. Normally when Aoki gets the ball first, they will win the game. So let's see how it pans out.
Fans, don't miss your chance to get fan-controlled football merchandise. Scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen or head to store.fcf.io. Use our special playoffs promo code, playoffs20, to get 20% off your purchase on game day only. So head to store.fcf.io, scan that QR code, use playoffs20 and save today.
Yeah, Combs in the chat said something real smart. They still use their 5th down, shouldn't have had to use that. And Bourdain Football Club will have theirs on this drive, so a pretty early usage of the 5th down.
And we'll get our first look at Deondre Francois. Did not play last week, only played the first half in week 6. He returns now. Francois will air it out immediately to Bazile, just beyond the reach of the tight end as he goes tumbling over the wall. That would have been a statement to start for Bourdain.
Bourdain is trying to start immediately and show what they can do. One crazy stat about Bazile is he has 3 catches this season, and all 3 of them are touchdowns. And they're trying to go for the 4th one right here. He just put a little bit too much mustard on that hot dog.
Oh. Again, welcome back, Deondre Francois, going the distance there and trying to tie our longest score ever. Or I guess our quickest score ever for a team with possession. But again, like the call, and it's now showing D-Block, hey, got to cover the whole field here. D-Block kind of the inverse of heavy hitters. Their D-line, amazing. Their DBs, maybe that's where you can find a little bit more success.
This D-Block crew 9-5 coming into today in their overall record. It's the give to Baker. Beats 1 tackle, beats a second, lowers the shoulder, and he is shy of the 20. 6-0 lead for Aoki. Let's look back at their drive. We told you it ate up a ton of time. More than 13 minutes off the clock, 11 plays. They had 2 5-yard penalties mixed in there, but it ends with Ballard getting into the end zone for our first score.
Yeah, the big surprise here, mostly on the ground. Again, both in terms of play calling and in terms of what actually happened, right? A lot of the time, Mitch Kidd will run, but it was still a pass called. But in this case, they were runs and he ran. So, again, Aoki, I like the adjustment, getting it done regardless, but still, it took that progressive bit down. Let's see how important that is, because you only get 1 a game.
And that's pretty early.
First half action here, and quickly a 3rd and 1 now for Bourdain. This is where Francois has been so lethal on the ground. And he will give to Baker this time, who gets the first down easily, and he steps out of bounds. He's across the 25 and moving the proverbial chains here for the Bourdain Football Club. And there's something, Degon, when you have Francois back in this lineup, we were talking about his stats, and he's not even in the vote, the fan vote for Offensive Player of the Year, but when he is in the lineup, he brings in an element you can't really describe.
Yeah, I hope that our cameras will get this at some point. After a play ends, Francois is barking at his team to make the huddle. He is in control, and he is the metronome in which everything else revolves around. That's the kind of player that I think you want on your squad. That's the kind of player that sets the tone. And when it's as successful as Bourdain Football Club, how do you go wrong with that? So Deondre Francois, he is the sun, everyone else is the planet.
It's a fantastic references. Metronome, suns, and planets. Well done.
Thank you.
You gotta teach me how to
We're in
spell
playoff
that.
form, baby.
I don't know if I know how to spell metronome.
13:30 to go, first half. Francois again with time. Again, firing downfield, and, well, he's come out fired up. Has overthrown a couple of guys as he's getting his feet wet here back with his Bourdain offense.
We're seeing a lot of things that we're expected to see from this Bourdain football team. They're running the ball well with Jacoby Baker, and they're actually throwing it. But unfortunately, he's just not connecting right now.
Here's our passing leaders for the Board 8 Football Club, GWR and Nerd. We're going with Nerd. Yeah.
Nerd E, I've been told.
Nerd
directly.
E?
It is Nerd E.
All right, directly.
Yep.
Nerd E. Boom. Right in there with Freddie Airmail. You see Freddie Airmail. We see a lot of these guys during our FCF week shows. Love these guys always showing up and turning up here. And again, they've been relatively successful for this Board 8 Football Club. Right now, very similar to Aoki. Not a lot of air yardage so far. It's been the Jacoby Baker show.
17 yards on the ground for Baker right now. 2nd and 10 on this first drive for Board 8 Football Club. Francois makes one guy miss, loses another, and slides down past the 15. So showing that mobility. Remember, he left with an ankle back in week 6 and showing the movement here.
Yeah, I was worried a little bit before this play how his ankle was feeling, and you can clearly see it right here because the right play was to hand the ball off, but he made it the right play. Because if you watch, he was waiting for he was waiting for Francois to keep the ball, and unfortunately Francois made a miss and got the first down. Not the first down, but got some extra yardage. So he made Mr. Harold miss right there.
Yeah, big Jordan Harold on the edge. It's scary. Scary stuff when you're in the right spot and Francois still able to make the play.
That's what made him so fun to watch, right? That should have been a tackle, and then he changes the whole thing.
It's like playing Michael Vick or Le'Veon Bell. Those type of guys, when you have them right in front of you, sometimes you actually don't have them in front of you at all.
3rd and 2. And it's the give to Woods. Turns that corner, and Woods to the pylon. Darren Woods in for the touchdown.
The versatility of this Board 8 Football Club on full display here. Darren Woods, listed as a wide receiver, has filled in at that super back role multiple times, and you can see why. Maybe not the same jets that Jacoby Baker has, but the patience as he turns the corner here, and a great job by this offensive line, making an easy edge for him to come around.
5th rush TD of the year for Woods, the former receiver out of UNLV, and that replay brought to you by Great Clips. Get the same great haircut every time with Great Clips.
Imagine if this was a
Fans have confirmed a
regular
2-point
game,
try.
20-minute halves. We'd be in 1-minute mode right now. That's so crazy that Aoki took so long, and both these squads just comfortable in their offense.
2-point opportunity now. Here's Fuller. Fuller to the corner of the end zone. Easy money. Made it look simple, hauling that one in a tough spot. And that's an Experian boost 2-pointer. Make it 8-6.
Deacon's been saying this all year. These 2-point conversions matter. And Fuller does a good job slowing down his counterpart, Mr. Dokes, and Francois just puts it right over his head to allow him to have a nice catch.
Always good to shout out a fellow Virginia person as he went to the University of Richmond, the capital of the great state of Virginia, Keaston Fuller.
Fans, join us here for the championship. It's the People's Championship. It's happening next Saturday right here at Pullman Yards. Get your tickets now. Go to fcf.tixer.com and you can be here for the People's Championship. Will it be Aoki or Board 8? Will it be, should have been Stars going for the repeat, or perhaps the Cinderella story that is the Zappers? Get your tickets and don't miss out.
You can come hang out with Kyle. That was the guy right there in the Aoki jersey. He always changes his jersey every week. So Kyle, if you come swing by during the People's Championship, say hi to him.
Here's Kidd stepping through and into a Board 8 sandwich. He's down to 10.
Mr. McKinnon was right there waiting for him. The round worked well for Mitch Kidd last series, but you see, as the heavy hitters, D-line understand, last series we gave up a lot on the run, so now they're going to make the pocket a little bit tighter and understand that Mitch is going to run and step up in the pocket if things aren't looking pretty, and they was waiting for him in this situation.
Just a little out of sync right now is the Aoki offense, and I think these Aoki call players are doing the right thing, but there's minimal separation right now by number 27, 28, 29, Quantez Stiggers, Mike Lee, and Sam Brown. I think the fact that they're only playing one game, they're not saving anything in the tank right now, is showing off fully for this heavy hitters defense.
Kidd with 4 carries. He'll throw here, almost intercepted. Cherry had a right hand on it.
Yo, give me a different
And
play,
frustrated push-ups for the miss.
Yo, we keep running the same plays.
Mr. Cherry was sitting right in the zone. This was a man read concept. He was reading the quarterback eyes. Everybody else in man-to-man. And you see Mr. Cherry jump this route. This is a beautiful play by the linebacker. His godfather's gonna be mad he didn't catch this one. Watch him read his eyes, jump in the lane, and he's gonna want that one back. Next time you gotta put 2 hands on him, Mr. Cherry.
And this is why Cecil Cherry is so scary and one of our best defensive threats. We know what he's like when he comes through on a blitz untouched. That time we got to see him sit and cover. A lot of the time you don't get linebackers that can do both. Cecil Cherry showing it off.
Set, go.
Go to Ballard, reversing field. Kidd tries to come back for a block, nothing doing as Mike Lee is into the backfield for the stop.
Mike Lee came all the way from the safety position right here to make this tackle. As Malcolm Ballard, he tried to bounce it to the left. Mike Lee sees he's bouncing it back, tries to get a little bit extra yards, shoots the lane from his safety position and gets the tackle for loss. That's a really special play by a safety, yet alone a linebacker.
Yeah, High Spacely saying feed Gump. Well, usually you don't want to feed Gump on 3rd and long. You want to feed him on 1st and 10. And in this case, not a lot for Ballard to do. And Okie fans, I think here we take a shot and then we use our Wendy's flip the field if it doesn't work out. 4th and 13. And there are some kinks that need to be worked through for this Okie offense, especially in the pass game right now.
You want to use all their power early.
Here's Kidd.
Oh.
He'll connect with Smith. Smith full head of steam, and he'll pick up the first down. So on a 4th and 13, again, Patrick Smith has been the safety valve for Okie.
And he's doing the same route that we seen last week, what got him into this playoffs. They do a drag route, kind of a mesh concept. You'll see him dragging across the field, wide open, and allowing him to get down the field. This is a good concept, and one that defenses hate if you're in the zone or man, because even in man concepts, you're bumping into somebody when they're doing this mesh route, and then zone concepts, you could be sitting in your zone, but if the receiver's flying by you, it's really hard to make that play.
Which is exactly what we just saw. Mike Lee, he was there in his zone, started coming across to make sure we got the pass off to the other defender, didn't see full speed ahead. Nice catch, and now it's a first down for Okie.
Smith out of Tennessee State University came into tonight 4th in the league in receptions, tack on 2 to his season tally. He's now at 19 grabs on the year. He's got 2 in this one for 33 yards and another first down for Okie.
Hey, I got it. I got it. Malik. Ready. To go.
Kidd calling his own number, picks up the block. Kidd to the 5, to the end zone, touchdown. Mitch Kidd is in.
He definitely got it, baby.
Oh, man. Right now, we are seeing the Okies use a whole different playbook. I don't know where this playbook is coming from, but you guys are not calling what you've been calling all season,
Fans are
and
voting
I'm loving it.
for a 2-point try.
Right now, you guys are pinning the ball as you guys and girls, Okie, you pin the ball on the ground, allowing Mitch Kidd to see these wonderful holes that the trendmen are setting up. Boykins, his main guy that he throws touchdowns to, setting up blocks, and Mitch Kidd, he's fast enough to get in there, and he is. Get in there.
To be honest, I like the call, right? The thinking now is like, hey, let's give the ball off to Malcolm Ballard on first down, and Mitch Kidd said, why don't we just score now? I'm used to that.
Fans have confirmed a 2-point try.
3rd rushing touchdown, and you could see before he snapped that football, he was telling Malik Elliott, I got it, and then he took off, and he did it. Here's the 2-point opportunity now with Boykin.
Oh, my gosh.
Not there.
Mike Lee! Just this coverage, this pass coverage here of the heavy hitters has been so good, but the run has been what's working for both these squads right now.
You said this earlier, D-Guy. The heavy hitters, their linebackers and their DBs are special. And you watch right here, this is great defense. He's not grabbing them. it's just wonderful defense, and it's really hard for defenders when you have a receiver running at you instead of at the line of scrimmage to make a play. And you see Mike Lee does it right here, and they've been doing it all season, the heavy hitters defense. But the one thing that's really been struggling them this whole season is their D-line. And once again, Aoki's able to run the ball down their throat and get another touchdown.
And they were a lot quicker about it. Remember that first drive, 11 plays, more than 13 minutes this time around, 5 plays, pretty brisk, 4 minutes and 12 seconds, and they're in.
Yeah, but they have been controlling the ball a lot here. Let's see what Bourdain Football Club have to respond.
Under 7 to play, first half. Baker not going far. Gets eaten up by that defensive front.
Francois is going to want this one back. This is an opportunity where he was reading the DN from D block, and the DN actually bid on the run on this one. So he's going to want this one back because he could have ran in this situation. As you see, they were right there at D block on this situation for the tackle, and Francois could have probably got 2 or 3 yards in this situation where they end up only gaining 1 or losing 1.
We were talking at the top about this being the postseason and what that means. Do you think, Shazier, there was a little nerves here that have kind of faded away now that we're into this game?
Yeah, it's definitely nerves coming into this game because a lot of their counterparts are home watching them play right now, and you just want to make sure that you play well, have a great game, and show everybody why you're here. And so everybody's trying to have a perfect game right now, and sometimes that adds jitters.
Francois again downfield. This time Bazille's there. The money man is in for the score.
Yeah, he loved that little dance right there. He got 4 touchdowns on the season. That's his 4th right there. And he give us the same dance every single time. You know what that dance called?
What is that dance called?
I don't know, but he's saying.
You set me up.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted me to ask you that.
I love how Bourdain, you guys are going for the kill shot. And Brazil, he's been doing a great job for you all season. This is actually good defense by Slick Nick. He's a DN, going against a tight end is unfortunate. But he plays through the ball, but he plays through a little bit too late.
Fans have confirmed a 2-point try.
Oh, those hips. Those are the hips that got him open. Again, Slick Nick, disruptive force in the pass rush, but pass coverage, I think that's asking a lot of one of our great players in the FCF, and Bazille capitalizes.
Here's Thomas for 2. Will they give him credit? They do. What a grab from Maurice Thomas. Got rocked into the wall and hangs on.
Wow.
Experience boost worth 2 points. And that puts the Bourdain Football Club in front 16-12.
Can the wall cause an incompletion? Because right there, that was very close.
That again, Wall's undefeated, but Wall's the heavy hitter on this. Take a look at this. Ben Hunt shoving him in. Oh, my goodness. Ooh.
So before he hit the wall, it was a catch. After he hit the wall, it's not a catch. The wall is considered out of bounds. So that would be, if he was to hit the ground, that would be considered incomplete. But the refs are wonderful refs. They always try to get it right, and they saw the touchdown. So
The previous play on the try was ruled a successful try. The fans are reviewing.
There it is, fans.
Now it's up to you guys.
Shazier hit the light. He hit the review light. He's like, hey, actually, can the wall do that or not? I think if we take a look at it one more time, all I was surprised by was how big of a hit it was. Here in the stadium, it was very loud. But that's a great grab, but I don't think he possesses it through. That looks like a drop to me.
So that's what I'm saying. If he was able to catch this and hit the ground, I think this would have been a catch. But the wall is like another human being right here.
Yeah.
And it's a lot harder than a human being right here. And that's why he misses the ball. I think this is an incomplete pass.
I have to say, we haven't really seen a play like this where a guy had a catch and the wall was the thing that jarred it loose. Because to your point, if there's no wall, right, he probably just hangs on to it falling to the ground.
It's almost like he got hit by Cecil Cherry.
If it's 1 foot in, then it's a catch. Yes, but did he possess it? Do you think he possessed it long enough?
I think he possessed it until he hit the wall. so that's like he possessed it until he hit the ground. You know, so if the wall is our ground, if he hit the wall, that's not considered a catch.
It looks pretty split in the chat right now. I'm very interested. Voting, I think, is over. So let's see what our head zebra says.
The fans have confirmed the ruling on the field is successful.
Confirmed. 2-point conversion as ruled by you, the fans. And that's our difference right now. The Board 8 Football Club has made 2 conversions. Aoki has failed on 2. It's a 4-point margin, 16-12.
And right now, if you think about it, Aoki can score a touchdown. They'll only be up 2 points right now just because of these 2-point conversions. Maybe guys should start thinking about one-point conversions here and there. But, you know, I've talked about this all season, but nobody listens to Mr. Shazier.
Yeah, I know what to do one way.
The ship has sailed far away on the 1-point conversion.
Why don't you listen to Mr. Shazier, Chad? I want an essay right now. All right, starting this one off with the run. Let's see if we can get Ballard going.
Smith in motion. It's the give to Ballard. Gets past Cherry for the moment, but won't escape Joe Grogan as he tries to go up the middle.
That's got to be terrifying. You're running up the middle, and then, oh, there's Cecil Cherry. I'm going to run right back around. We see it on the replay here, Shays. That's just very much filling the hole and then being like, let's see if there's a way around and not through.
So it's 2 things about being a linebacker when you're coming down the middle of the hole. So there's one style of running back that's like, hey, I need to avoid this guy. And then there's another style of running back that's like, I need to get these yards. So just based off of who you're going against, you have to prepare yourself at linebacker. So Cecil Cherry, he understands that Michael Ballard, he's a tough runner, but he likes to bounce it outside. But if it's a guy like Marshawn Lynch, what do you think he's doing?
Oh, Marshawn's going through.
So you have to prepare yourself a little bit different when it comes to tackling those type of guys.
Marshawn liked hitting people.
Under 5 minutes now, first half. Second down here for Aoki. Kidd again looking, firing, and incomplete. Looking for Boykin. That was a little too high, and it'll bring up third down. Fans, we showed you Terrell Owens earlier, and he's live now on the TO zone. You can catch TO talking the postseason on our matchups tonight. His Knights of D-Gen squad eliminated last weekend, but he is in the building here at Pullman Yards in the TO zone. The exclusive coverage airing now on the Fubo Sports Network. There's the Hall of Famer.
He's over there with Ed Reed right now, and one of the great mans in all of fantasy football, James Cope, the host over there at the TO show. Good to see him back. And that gives us Makuga back for our team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here's
Jump ball, who's catching that? Up to you.
Oh, Ed Reed and TO? Oh. I love them both. I love them both. I don't know. Who you got?
It's not an answer.
Come on!
What about you, Greg?
TO brings it down.
Oh, I'd go with T.O. If it's a pure jump ball, now if it's T.O. coming across the middle, I like Ed Reed's chances to perhaps knock it loose. That guy delivered some jarring hits. Here's Kidd down the sideline, into traffic, intercepted. Quantez Stiggers has another. Stiggers on the move, looking for blocks, and he is out of play beyond the 25. The youngest player in the league, and he leads it in interceptions now with his 6th.
It was like a book that Quantez Stiggers wrote himself before he reread it. He just sat there in center field and just turns his hips, sees the wheel route on the tight end, and I'll take Quantez Stiggers over tight end in the jump ball.
Yeah, I would as well. To be honest, that looked like you before this game throwing the ball to the producers. Quantez Stiggers was literally just sitting in the pocket and just waiting for this ball. Mitch Kidd just seen Bored Apes throw a long touchdown. He wanted it back, got a little bit too greedy, and you can't throw it to Stiggers. He's one guy that's constantly looking at the ball. He reminds me of Marcus Peters because he's a great zone defender because he's always in position and waiting for that opportunity. And right here, he just bringing it back, give his team back the ball at half field. And they scored on both of these possessions. And now let's see what happens again.
Got the Bored Ape turnover chain, 6th pick on the year for Quantez Stiggers, and it's now back to the Bored Ape Football Club on offense, looking to build on their 16-12 advantage. As we close in on halftime, 2:09 to play. Jacoby Baker, he stepped through one tackle, was trying to elude Kyle Goodby before Slick Nick brought him down. Now, this is the 3rd meeting of the year between these two teams. last 2 times they met, very different outcomes. You remember week 6, that was when Ballard went off. 5 touchdowns in a single game. Francois only played that first half, and Aoki won. You go back earlier, week 2, it was all Bourdain Football Club. 32-14, they win it. Francois played great. Kidd didn't play so well, and it was a late turnover that really won it for the Bourdain Football Club. So early here, any sense of how you feel this one's trending?
It feels a lot more like the first game. I don't think Mitch Kidd is comfortable right now. A lot of these routes that he's completed have been backyard football. The route has ran itself, and then it's moving people around. That last pick, we got a great view of it from our camera from behind. Mitch stared that one down, and so I think maybe the early pressure from Cecil Cherry started to stress him out a little bit more.
In these moments, some people step up and some people don't, and DeAndre Francois has been in these moments before. We have to see what Mitch Kidd can do.
Here's the give to Thomas, and he'll pick up a couple. He'll stop there from Ben Hunt. So Kidd, the interception, his 6th. For as good as he's been, we talk about his offensive numbers, he also has the most picks of any quarterback here in the playoffs, as we are now under 1 minute to go
in
the first half.
Time is correct. 56 seconds.
So 56 seconds to play. We will take a timeout and come back with more action here in Pullman. 56 seconds to play, first half. It's a 3rd down coming for the Bourdain Football Club. They're 2 for 2 on their 3rd downs thus far. Degon, Ryan Shazier, Liv Moods, Greg Meskel here with you. The playoffs, season 2, fan-controlled football live from Pullman Yards in Atlanta, and it's been a good seesaw battle here, Shazier. 3 lead changes as we see Board Ape with the 3rd down upcoming.
That's what you always want to see in a playoff game. You never want to see a playoff game where one team shellacks the other team like the Patriots been doing the last 20 years. So I'm watching Man in the Arena, so I'm getting flashbacks of when I played. But you definitely don't want shellackings like that. You definitely want it back and forth.
Francois has the first. Francois has more, sliding down. He took a look at what was ahead, and it was a man named Jordan Harold, and thought better of it as he slid down shy of the goal line. And now 50 seconds to play in this first half.
Honestly, to me, Board Ape is just in full control in this game right now. The heavy hitters and their defense, they're making it really difficult on Aoki's offense. But even when they're on offense, the Board Apes, to me, it just seems like they're in full control. DeAndre Francois, he hasn't been throwing the ball a lot, but he's 1 for 3 for 41 yards. When he decides to put the ball on the ground, he has some really solid runs, making sure that he gets down. And I think he's more calm in this situation, and their team is more calm and prepared for this moment. And Aoki seems a little bit more flustered to me.
I think that last one, you saw him able to get around Slick Nick, but I think that was a little bit of a hold there by Ayub. Got away with it, and Francois gets the yardage here. And again, Indy Blast, just a strong power run to the left side with Jacoby Baker. I love this call here by the Bourdain Football Club. Let's see how it does.
1st and goal in the progressive blue zone on the 3. First blue zone opportunity for Board Ape, and we won't get much further than that, as it looked as if Bazile jumped.
All-start offense, 40. 5-yard penalty, remain, first down.
And that is the call, so they'll stay in the progressive blue zone. 5-yard penalty will back them up to the 8.
I see you finally on the defensive side of things. Action for holdings. There we go.
I know it took me all season long. I'm an offensive player, love playing wide receiver, love the Madden view, but now I'm starting to see the other side. That one, holding Slick Nick is usually the only way you can slow someone like that down.
So I talked to a referee before.
Okay.
And I actually had a study in one of my classes, like about referees and calls. It was more about pass interference, but I asked him about holding as well. And he said there's a holding on every single play, but we can't call it.
Ooh. Maybe that's what happened there.
So it has to be very egregious or very blatant for them to call it, or it's just almost like it's in my face so much I have to call this. So
Woods in the backfield now on this 2nd and goal, and it is Woods on the carry, and he is in with ease. Darren Woods scoring for Board Ape.
That was a carbon copy of the last time that they scored. They put in a jumbo package, they seal the right edge, and it's an easy run there for Darren Woods.
Second touchdown in this one for Woods. He has it from 15. Now he has it from 8 yards out, and he has Board Ape up 10.
This game is crazy to me right now. We have Board Ape with receivers running touchdowns, tight ends catching balls. No receivers have any catches right now.
Fans have confirmed a 2-point try.
And they're up 10 points right now. So let's just see how this one keeps going.
And now Woods.
Oh, yeah.
They've been excellent on the man-up challenge. The Experian boost 2-pointer, good to go. Make it 24-12.
Yeah, Sean Kelly didn't have too much of a chance on that one, and they're up now 2 possessions. It's pretty great there as we take a look at our touchdown leaders for the Board Ape Football Club. GWR, Nerdy, Mir Frank, and Freddie Airmail. There's Info Arcade, also one of our hosts of the official FCF post-game show, showing off their skill set. 22 touchdowns there in the middle.
So you say it's Nerdy or Nerd A?
Nerd E.
Nerd E. Okay. I just want to say Nerd A.
Nerd A.
It's like French. Nerd A. Is that French?
It's not, I don't know. It sounds like T-Pain. Nerd A. Yay, yay.
I've been asking for auto-tune for your headset, Degon. It's not come in yet. Back to it on the ground as we look at what just transpired for the Board Ape Football Club. More Darren Woods. 8-yard TD rush this time, and again, they go quick. Aoki has had time-consuming drives. Board Ape not wasting any time. Under 2 minutes, 24 yards and in, and that was following the Quantez Stigger's interception.
Defense lead the offense, and that's why people say defense wins championship. If this heavy hitters defense continue to play like this, causing Aoki to play out of their normal routine, this is going to be a really hard game for Aoki because Mitch Kidd, he's their guy that led them to the promised land. He's the one that's leading the fan votes for MVP or Offensive Player of the Year, and he's 2 for 8 right now. So he needs to figure things out. Their team need to figure things out, and we got to see how things pan out.
It's Ballard. Won't escape the grasp of Joe Grogan, who, if you watch Wednesday night, can lift weights, and a lot of them.
Strongest man alive.
He was the strongest man in the FCF as well. Zoomed in from a family wedding to lead the charge in the bench press.
Board Ape, first time out of the first half. 30 seconds.
Second look here, courtesy of Great Clips, and you'll just see a large man wrap up Ballard. That's Grogan, who started out as a tight end here in the FCF and now has merged into defense.
Yeah, Coach Sean Liotta said, anytime you're messing with a guy with a neck collar, it's always scary.
Yeah.
As Grogan, he played tight end to start. He's like, I don't like this, coach. And I honestly thought he was a tight end at first. But no, he's just versatile and would rather hit people than get hit.
So how many times did he bench last time? It was like 45, 46?
It was something obscene, yeah, and just he made it look very, very simple. Like it looked like he was using fake weights or maybe a plastic bar, but it was not that. He's just that strong.
Yeah, it was a lot of people hating on him in the chat too, like check the weights, and because we thought Ethel was going to win, and then he just zoomed in. You said from a wedding?
Yeah, I believe it was his brother's wedding, and he had to be with family, but he took time out to go to their basement or somewhere, and they had him on the live Zoom, and he was just going off on the bench. And if you see the guy in person, you do believe that that's what he did. He is, as we said, a mountain of a man. So under 30 seconds now to play.
Yeah, I know.
I like this call here. Just get Mitch Kidd something. And get your receiver something. Just a short, simple screen. Get in the hands of receiver. Yes, it's 4th down. Yes, it's 4th and 5. But there isn't a lot of time in between halves for like Mitch Kidd to go like throw a ton and like sync up. And they're down now 2 possessions and facing a possible 3rd possession because we know how fast Board Ape Football Club can score. So they need to figure it out now. They need to figure out live, and if they're able to, it's going to be a great triumph here for Aoki, and I'll try to put that into context, but they look out of sorts right now.
I'm going to be honest. I know you want to get your quarterback warmed up, get his hands, get it into receiver's hands. He just lost a yard on that play. So we need to make sure that they get at least put the ball in the right direction.
Set, go.
Here's the play call from Okie fans, and we'll get a flag again.
Come on, man.
False start, offense, 74. 5-yard penalty, remain, 4th down.
It's a false start there on Darius Crosby for Okie.
And that's the second one for him. Remember, in that first drive, they had 2 penalties that drove him backwards. The man from Inglewood not helping out his team right now. That 4th and 5 is manageable. 4th and 10, a lot harder. You kind of hope for maybe another one of those crossing patterns and catching the defense in zone coverage. Like, what are you looking for here, Shays?
As a defense, I'm looking for anything that's underneath the sticks. So you're really looking for anything that they're going to go for the first down right away. So if anything that's around the 12-yard distance, from the 8 to 12-yard distance, you're trying to sit on all that type of stuff. Obviously, DBs, you have to be a little bit further back. But if you're a linebacker, anything within that 8 to 12-yard radius, you got to make sure that you hover over all that, because you don't want them to be able to catch it and get the first down.
Here's the 4th down. Remember, they're out of 5th down, and Cecil Cherry swats that attempt away by Mitch Kidd. As good as advertised.
The squirrel dance, there you go. I did that one time in Baltimore. The fans weren't happy.
Oh, I wonder why not. Why not, Shays? You're such a nice guy.
Oh, man. Cecil Cherry just comes right down the middle of the defense.
Flip the field.
He comes right down the middle of the defense. They're in man coverage. I was watching Stiggers right here. He was sitting right on the hitch route. He was going to intercept that one and return that one to the house. But this is a man blitz right down the center of the defense. And if you're coming right down the center of a quarterback's vision, it's really hard for him to make any successful play. And Cecil Cherry, it was going to make it hard anyway, but he got his hands on it, and now it's almost impossible.
Okie just 1 for 3 on 4th downs. The fan vote now for the Wendy's flip the field. That will leave Okie with just the Gatorade power play going into the second half. And right on cue in the chat, our broadcast partner for our next game, Devin Gardner, saying Board Apes are going to be tough to beat. Add Cecil Cherry and Stingers, and maybe no way to beat them. And on cue,
Fans
Cherry
have
with the big stop.
Wendy's flip the field. The ball will be placed at the 10-yard line. 1st and 10, Board Apes.
Man, I just got confirmation. You not only have to stop those guys, 46 reps from Joe Grogan. That's how strong that man is. And, you know, a lot of the time in traditional football, the line doesn't necessarily open up on a blitz, so the blitzer doesn't get there. But in 3v3, it opens up a lot. Mitch Kidd has nowhere to go. There's no pocket to step up into. He just has to guess and float it up there. And it's just very, very hard puzzle to solve right now for the Okie offense.
So fans, just to understand, if it's 7-on-7 and it's man-to-man coverage, that means 3 linemen versus 3 D linemen, 3 DBs versus 3 receivers, and linebacker versus quarterback. And on that situation, they took it to their advantage and went right down the middle of the offense.
20 seconds left in the first half. Francois, the fake, takes off. What a move from Francois. Again, the fake. They're buying it to the 10, and he has a monster gain on 1st down with 11 seconds to play in the first half.
Who did he fake out in the second pass? He's 30 yards downfield.
There is a flag on the play at the moment.
DeAndre Francois just steps up in the pocket and just shows what type of player he
Illegal
is.
block in the back at the spot
man.
of the flags. The flags will be placed at the same spot. 10 yards. Replay the down.
So illegal block in the back, and that will bring back what was an epic run for Francois. And Degon, you made the point too. He's about 30 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and still pump faking guys out of his way.
Yeah, I think that was Ben Hunt, who's normally a heavy hitter, but I think it was less about a throw and more about the pitch. As we take a look at the block in the back one more time. Oh, I don't know.
That was a little bit questionable. But right, you see him do the pump fake, and it fakes out Benjamin Hunt. But in this league, you seen last week crazy stuff happen. They throwing it to the O-lineman, trying to make sure it's the last hoorah to try to make sure it scores. It's only 11 seconds left. As a defender in football, you understand that they don't have no time left with 11 seconds. You're so used to if he gets tackled right here in the middle of the field, the clock runs out. So I'm imagining Benjamin Hunt thinking, hey, if he throws it over here, I got to make sure that he doesn't make this play. So I understand he faked him out, but it's just in your instinct, it's like, man, I can't let him make a play over here, and that's my guy.
11 seconds left, 1st and 5, and it was partially deflected. Baker comes up with it. 10 seconds left, and still plenty of time. Remember, clock stopping after every play here with less than 30 seconds left. And the Board 8 Football Club, they went in front in this game at around 11-minute mark, and they have built since then ahead 24-12, and they'll have a great chance here to tack on one more.
D-block D-lineman Mr. Harrell gets a free rush on him, gets his hand on it, but Jacoby Baker is just real patient, and Francois real patient, allows him to be able to get the ball, and he understands, let me get as many yards as I can right now, as in Baker, because like we said, every play the clock stops after the play. So he wants to make sure he can get as many yards as he can, because 7 seconds, that's an eternity in fan control football.
And I like the play call by the Board 8 Football Club fans. You had 2 routes go deep, Jacoby Baker be the release, and Jacoby Baker understand he's the release. A lot of the time, guys want to run all the way down the field and don't look back. He looks back after 3 yards, realizes, safety valve, there's a blitz, I got you.
7 seconds left in this first half. Board 8 in front, 24-12, looking to add. They'll go Baker. And he is going to be driven backwards with about 2 seconds left on the clock. Good pursuit there from Aoki defensively. Darius Stokes coming up to help make that stop.
Fan Control League football fans. Well, you know when you watch a football game and you're like, what the hell play call was that? That's this play call right here. It's right here. You have 7 seconds, you run a jet sweep, and you're trying to score a touchdown. I understand you can run the clock out, but you're trying to score a touchdown. Make sure you can get as many points on the board as possible, because you're going against another high-powered offense. I understand your defense is playing well right now, but you just want to make sure that you put the ball in the black and not keep it in the green. And when you put the ball on the ground right there, the running game, it doesn't give you a good opportunity to make a big play. So I like this play call right here.
Just 2 counterpoints. Running plays usually faster than passing plays, and you like Francois' decision-making, so maybe he breaks it big, but I generally agree. I think with 7 seconds, you have enough time to make 2 passing plays here.
Last chance now with 2 seconds left.
Let's go.
Francois. A lot of time. Fires to the end zone all day. Touchdown as time expires. Maurice Thomas.
Sean Kelly was guarding Maurice Thomas, and once they broke out of the pocket, Mr. Francois broke out of the pocket, he was nowhere to be found. And Mr. Maurice Thomas, he understands the scramble drill because he's a Madden designer, and in Madden, the quarterbacks run around all the time, and this is exactly what happened. On this play, it was a nice developed route. He was supposed to break in, and he was able to see Francois breaks out of the pocket, moves his feet a little bit, and then just nobody in sight on this film. This is a beautiful throw.
And it was great blocking by number 78,
Fans have
Joshua
confirmed
Taylor.
a 2-point try.
Joshua Taylor just one-on-one against the scariest D lineman we have in the league in the form of Big Slick Nick Williams, and gives Francois that time.
Fuller now for 2. Over the top. And about the only thing that hasn't gone right for the Board 8 Football
That's
Club
the end of the first
in this
half.
first half. 30 minutes, 30 points, and the Board 8 Football Club off to a fantastic start with their eyes set on the People's Championship. We'll take a timeout and come back to Atlanta with more Board 8 Football Club in front of Aoki in this Ballers Division Championship, the playoff semifinal. They lead 30-12.
Mic check.
Just about set for the start of this second half. So, Ryan Shazier, Degon, we've talked all about what the defense for Board 8 should keep doing if they want to keep this problematic for Aoki. Conversely, Shazier, I'll start with you. How does Aoki turn the tide?
D-Block has to get after DeAndre Francois. He's sitting in the pocket, cool and collected, and just controlling the game. He feels really comfortable back there. Slick Nick and his defense really have to step up, because right now they're putting too much pressure on these DBs.
Blitz. I want to see a blitz.
Good hit there on the run for Baker, and he is stopped up front right away. So don't forget, start of this second half, and Degon, this is where the all-powerful NFT 99 takes hold.
Yep, here we go. This is your baller that you buy so that you can own one of these NFT squads, and then you can have all these different types of cosmetics that you can end up buying here. One of them is the number 99 jersey. That makes your vote worth 1,000 times the normal vote here. So effectively, you're dictating a lot of what this is going to be. And so far, our 99 voter has said, let's start with the run. Looking like we're going to go with another run early on here, see if we can get some yardage. But I like that opportunity that we had there. Kyle Goodby was sent on a blitz last time. Didn't pay, it was inconsequential because the tackle was at the line of scrimmage. But keep blitzing, put Deondre Francois under pressure.
1 yard gain. Francois throwing this time from behind. He'll be ripped down. Jordan Harold on the scene. And for the first time, Deondre Francois has looked human in this playoff battle.
Force Field has been doing a great job of allowing Deondre Francois to sit in the pocket and just play quarterback. Right now, the D-block, Harold just gets on the edge, creates a really tough time for this D-line, the Force Field, and Deondre Francois is looking in the pocket, waiting for something to happen, and that blind side is taking over. That's why that left tackle is the highest paid position on the O-line when you're in the NFL.
And it's about time we've seen a win by this D-line. To be completely honest, they have started to fall off a little bit over the last several weeks. Think back to week 6 when they were Kingpins and Knights of Degen. They were on that losing side of the most points ever scored in FCF. And no one was out. No one was hurt. This is that D-line now. They got to get after this quarterback and do it again.
3rd and 17 after the sack on Francois, the 6th on the year for Harold. The run again, Francois escapes. He eludes the defense, puts on the brakes, and then he'll slide down shy of the 20, and what looked like it might be a safety is now the Board Ape Football Club closing in on a first down. In the meantime, let's check back in with Liv Moods.
I was hanging over in the Adoki huddle during halftime, and I had a chance to talk to Malcolm Ballard, and here's what he had to say. They have a lot of faith in Mitch in this second half. They said, we trust our QB. We've trusted him all season long, and we actually love being in this spot. They were letting the chirping from the Board Apes get the best of them, so they said we need to relax. We can't let them get in our heads because they're going to get comfortable and we're going to stay locked in. We have to remember this is the spot that Adoki has been in all season long that has gotten them this far. So they really trust Mitch Kidd in this second half.
And Liv brings up a good point. You're never out of it here in the FCF. Add the extended time. Remember, 30-minute halves in the playoffs. Plenty of time for Adoki to battle back in this one as Board Ape has their first 4th down of the night. That's how good they've been on offense. And Francois picks up the first and gets out of play as Dokes was coming over for the hit. And it's the big plays, and then sometimes for Board Ape, it's the little plays, and it's all working.
People don't understand how important these little plays are. Right here, all they have to do is get the first down. Harold sits and waits for Mr. Francois, but he does a good job of just getting to the edge, using his speed, gets the first down, and just gives them another set of first downs right now.
Yeah, and on the play before, that was the blitz I was asking for. Kyle Goodby comes untouched, and instead of breaking down and just making a play, whether it's a safety or not, he's thinking, big hit, safety, let's turn the momentum, and he gets juked out. I want to put players like Kyle Goodby, I want to put players like Jordan Harold in those opportunities to make the play. They just got to do it.
Board Ape Football Club, they've been perfect on offense so far tonight, 4 for 4. When you talk about possessions that have resulted in a score, this is their 5th opportunity as we are in second half action. Woods, he has 2 of those scores. He'll be stood up. They try and tear that football loose, but it's the tackle just the same for Nate Bresson. Big thanks to our broadcast partners that cover fan-controlled football. Everyone watching at twitch.tv/FCF, those watching on NBCLX and Peacock, and our international viewers joining us on DAZN.
Looking at the play calls that just popped on up for this specific next play, the second down, a double pass popped up. I would love to see a double pass right now by Board Ape Football Club to end the game. That would just crush the momentum, but the fans have voted on something else. Remember, the first time we instilled this number 99 jersey, where one fan had most of the power, that fan ran 3 trick plays. All 3 of them didn't work out. But you got the first down now. You're up 3 possessions. You could have opened up the playbook here.
Hey, he's conservative. He's conservative. I like it.
A fumble. Oh! Francois didn't realize, and it's picked up. A turnover. The first mistake for the Board Ape Football Club, and Aoki has the recovery with Ronald Cherry.
That's the problem when you have a running back and receiver in a receiver in the running back's position. A running back understands the ball, I'm always supposed to take it. I'm always expected to run with it. In this situation, Mr. Woods was expecting that Francois was going to keep it, and this is how you get a miscommunication. And see, Francois thought he had it, Woods thought he had it, and who ended up having it? Mr. Cherry.
Oh, that just, you've seen so many times where quarterbacks dive like that. It's just reactionary. You dive like that, arms, shoulders first, and you get rolled up on and you get banged up. I was nervous there for Francois, and you can see both superback and quarterback thought the other one had it, and they both stopped. And it's a huge break here for Aoki, and basically what they needed a stop here. Remember, at the beginning of the day, Board Ape Football Club deferred having the possession to score on the last play of the first half, get the ball back, drive down, and score again, which has been a dagger. Instead, a mistake gives Aoki second life here.
Look at that stat, just the second fumble. Francois has been so good taking care of the football. Now an opportunity for Mitch Kidd and Aoki. He escapes, and he'll have to take it himself out of play at the 15, and a chance for Aoki to make a statement getting the football back.
You always need something to happen for you to get some type of momentum. Now that momentum is in Aoki's side, they're down 3 touchdowns. Mitch Kidd, he sits in the pocket, looks downfield, calm and collected, and just understands, let me get this first down, and just, not first down, but let me get some yardage and just make sure I have something positive continuing to roll. But as we continue to see, Board Apes, DBs, and linebackers are doing a great job in coverage and are not allowing Mitch Kidd to be able to throw the ball down the field like he wants to, and that is what he's known for.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating. Again, only 2 rush there, right? Because they had a tight end, so it forced one of the linemen to cover. 2 rush, still put pressure on Mitch to not allow him to go through the full progression. It looked like he went through 1, maybe 2, and then was forced to his left, which is hard to throw on the opposite side.
Slice left magic on one.
Slice magic.
So you're right here.
Well, it's a heavy set right here, too.
Yeah, you heard him call it out. I think it's a run, but it looks like the tight end is running a route.
Kidd dumps it off, and incomplete. Wide open was the tight end, Andre Sims. That one just a little bit behind him, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 3. Fans, the Fan Control Football League, we partner with Stadium Live. Stadium Live, a sports-based metaverse that allows for fans to engage in trivia, raffles, and all things sports. Check out the broadcast crew here. We're looking good. You can join us, watch parties, engage to earn coins, and dress up your avatar. Maybe you give a Deacon a different jacket. Maybe you change my suit. Who knows? Shazier, a different shirt. Download the Stadium Live app now, and you can customize your avatar. Scan the QR code on your screen.
I think they got all 3 of our hair and head is perfect. Deacon's hair is green like it should be, and me and you are bald.
Works out perfectly for me.
Your beard is so full and manly. I love it, Greg.
I'm told they really took time with that to really get it right. I appreciate it.
The beard physics.
Aoki hasn't scored since 6:41 in the first half, trying to change that, and Ballard spun down, does not get far. He is wrapped up.
Not many people get away from that, man.
No, they do not. Cecil Cherry, earlier today on the fan vote, he was the leader at the moment for Defensive Player of the Year. Fans still an opportunity to vote on that. On Offensive Player of the Year, Mitch Kidd was leading that vote, by the way. And then Lineman of the Year, Slick Nick, was leading that vote. Again, these are still ongoing on the FCF app.
Brandon Silvers is still dreaming about
the Cecil Cherry.
I don't know if we can pull that one up, but Cecil Cherry laid a shellacking on Brandon Silvers earlier this season, and that will be my that would be my defensive player of the year just off of one play.
That's all it takes.
Just one play, that's all it takes.
4th down, Kidd.
Oh,
What a grab. That is a clutch reception from Patrick Smith. Again, things haven't gone all that well for Aoki, but when they have been in need, Patrick Smith has been the man.
He's consistently been a huge target for Aoki. Patrick Smith last week caught a huge jump ball for them and allow him to be able to get into this position. And then now you see another contested catch right here to allow them to continue to move the sticks. But like you were saying, they're about to show this Cecil Cherry hit.
Yeah, let's take a look at it one more time just in case you all at home forgot the power of Cecil Cherry. As we take a look at the tackle right there. I thought we were pulling up the Brandon Silvers
Yeah.
Cecil Cherry.
I thought that one was coming as well, but this is still a wonderful, solid tackle right here by Cecil Cherry.
I think Silvers got to someone in the control room. No, do not show that.
Going back to that catch, though, that was all hands in traffic. Someone making a play for this Aoki squad.
Into the progressive blue zone now. Kidd trying to turn that corner, and Cherry again will lower the shoulder and knock him into the wall, shy of the goal line.
Man, I don't know if I'd rather get hit by Ray Lewis or Cecil Cherry.
I don't know, man.
Good bloodline.
Those are both
right there.
scary.
Good bloodline.
That's a great bloodline. You know, Mitch Kidd just trying to get the angle on him, and that's the hand first, and I think he didn't realize how much he got beat by, and so he overran it, tried to body position it, drops it there for Darius Stokes. Another opportunity for a big play for Aoki. but a good pressure here by the D line, but D block.
They're a man-to-man defense. Maybe a blitz coming.
Go.
And it's the give to Thomas. Ridden to the ground by Slick Nick.
These are the moments of the game where the big-time players have to make plays. And Slick Nick gets off of his lineman and then just make sure that he makes this tackle for a no-yard gain. He understands he's a big-time player for this D-block defense, and he had to step up, and that's exactly what he did in this moment.
That replay brought to you by Great Clips.
Love that there by UC 510. Worst piggyback ride ever.
Fans, get your Fan Control football merchandise now. Use the promo code PLAYOFFS20, and you can save 20% off your purchase on game day only. So scan the QR code or go to store.fcf.io. Use PLAYOFFS20 and save now.
And again, you can look like our boy Kyle. He has all the jerseys. You got the crowd going in cheering defense right now.
Fort Abe 1 of 6 on 3rd down.
Yeah, man-to-man defense again. Francois sees it.
Go.
Here comes the rush, gets rid of it in a hurry. And juggling, and they'll say hanging on, was Maurice Thomas. And Shazier, you called it, Francois making micro adjustments there before the snap.
Yeah, as a quarterback, you have to make these micro adjustments. They end up running the play call that the fans call, but he also sees that the blitz is coming. Make sure that they get a nice slant route in, and he tells Mo Thomas, hey, I'm giving you the ball right now, to make sure that he can get some type of yardage. And 4th and 3 is a great opportunity because you still understand that you have your 5th down, so you can either get the first down, or you can use the 5th down in this situation to try to keep the ball moving.
Yeah, and with that knowledge, the Board 8 Football Club fans have picked a read option run play here. I like this here. This is why we were kind of questioning Aoki about using it so early. It ended up paying off. They got the points. But these are the types of moments where you like to use it generally in Board 8 Football Club in full control.
Just 3 yards to go.
So DeAndre's going to read this end man right here and decide if he's going to keep the ball or not.
And he's going to give to Baker, who lowers the shoulder, gets the first down. Looks like they'll give him the proper forward progress to get that first down. And Jacoby Baker, that initial hit just drove that defense backwards.
And that's what I talked about earlier in the game. When you're a linebacker in the middle of the hole, what running back are you going to run into? And Jacoby Baker just said, hey, you're running into me. Right now, he made sure that he got the first down. He does a read option. He said, I'm giving him the ball right down the middle of Mr. O'Harrell's face mask. And as a lineman or a linebacker, you hate that opportunity when you just get off a block and somebody's in your face. But sometimes you have to make that tackle, and that's exactly what happened right here, and Harrell wasn't able to slow him down.
And this is one of the reasons why it makes Jacoby Baker great in our league. He can be the patient runner. He can be the pass catcher, and I would say those are his more normal settings, but he's willing to lower the boom when he needs to and get the yardage there.
You mentioned Baker, a little bit of everything. 7 carries, 28 yards on the ground, also 1 reception for 15. And first down again for the Board Apes, under 13 to play. It's the give to Thomas on that jet, and he is spun down by Dokes.
On this play, Board 8 fans try to get Mo Thomas on the edge. This is a 4-yard play. Actually, 3 and 4 yard plays are actually good plays. If you consistently get 3 or 4 yards on every single play, that's going to be a first down. And it takes up the time, but it also wears down the defense. I know as a defensive player, I hated going against an offense that's only trying to get 3 or 4 yards per play. Because if you get 3 yards per play on 4th down, it'll be 4th and 1. So now it gives the offense an opportunity. Hey, do I want to run the ball? Do I want to pass, or do I want to punt? And if it's 4th and 1, if it's past the 50-yard line, a lot of teams are going for it. So that's a really solid play right there. He actually ended up getting 5 yards on it. So if you just constantly just get these slow and methodical plays, it gives you an opportunity to just do whatever you want on offense.
Winner moves on to the People's Championship. Should have been Stars and Zappers to follow in the OG Division Final. Here's Francois. Gets rid of it in a hurry, finds Bazile. And Bazile is up for a first down. Now he may be disappointed. That's his first catch that wasn't a touchdown, but he does move things along.
The record's over. He's the only touchdown catch man, but no longer. Bazile is now a full-time Board 8 Football Club member, and he's just helping the team to do whatever he can. And again, just a great decision by Francois. The end that's supposed to cover Bazile lets him go free. And so Francois has a guy in his face, but he identifies who's the person that is open. This man coming across the screen right there, Bazile, and it's a first down.
And talking with Coach Lauda before the game, if you've followed the last few weeks, it's been a tight end resurgence here in the FCF. And he said once we started tweaking the playbook, it opened things up for the tight end, and you were hitting on it a bit earlier, Shazier. Naturally, there are mismatches when the tight ends are in play going up against some slower linemen. It only makes sense they'd get their time to shine.
Yes, sir. If you're trying to go tight end versus a lineman, it's a really difficult situation. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year, but you don't want him guarding Travis Kelce. And that's kind of the situations that we're dealing with right now in this league. We have a lot of D linemen or, hybrid type of guys guarding these tight ends, and it puts them in an unfortunate situation.
Tight ends now with 19 touchdowns on the year. If you add the Bazile one from earlier tonight, as we'll have a flag on the play. Francois was thinking free play, and is pretty bummed he has to come back to the line.
That's a false start now. He snapped it. He snapped it. He snapped it. He snapped it.
It should be offsides.
He snapped it.
I don't think it's on the offense.
Offside, defense, in the neutral zone.
Okay.
Prior to the snap.
Yeah, all right, watch this.
5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remain first down.
This is the inverse of what we saw Aoki do, where Kamali Matthews need to snap when they cross. This time, the center here snaps right there. And so that is an offsides, not a false start. I was getting a little worried there. Refs were pointing both ways.
Foul was on number 18 defense.
So what's crazy in this situation, most times on offsides, they don't blow the play dead. So DeAndre Francois, that's why you see him frustrated in this situation, because offsides, just because you're offsides, unless you have a direct path to the quarterback, that's the only time that they blow the whistle dead in that situation. So that's why Francois was a little bit upset, because he was like, hey, nobody has a direct path to me. I can make something happen. And they blew the dead. So I think he's still happy about these 5 yards that he got.
Fourth penalty on Aoki tonight. Setting up the 1st and 5 for the Board 8 Football Club on the 10. The start of the progressive blue zone. It's the toss. Here's Baker. Defense closing in. Baker gets a big block. Cuts it back. Still surging. Diving. He'll be just short. And the Board 8 Football Club knocking on the door once again.
Tommy Auger getting the 2-for-1 special there, taking out the end and the linebacker. I think that was Kyle Goodby on pursuit. Did not matter as we take a look at it one more time. Here's the pitch across, and Auger maybe gets away with a block in the back, but definitely gets the linebacker for sure.
That is a block in the back. But Board 8, you guys are in your bag right now. It's a lot of plays I have not seen in a while come out, and that was a pitch play. You get Jacoby Baker on the edge. Mr. Tommy does a little bit of a nice block, but also a block in the back. They don't call it. The refs try to do their best to call a clean game. Sometimes they miss a play here or there. They miss one right there, but we're in the blue zone. Gives Board Apes another opportunity to score and pull away a little bit further.
Don't forget about our comeback rule here. That can start with under 5 minutes to go in this second half. And fans, you can also cast your vote for the Gatorade Player of the Game exclusively in our Twitch chat now at twitch.tv/FCF. Francois gives it to Baker, lowers the shoulder, the push from behind, and he's in for 6 more.
Jacoby Baker, this running game has just really been leading Board Apes to victory. DeAndre Francois is doing well, has 86 yards on the ground, in the air. But as you watch this game and watch here, DeAndre Francois just makes the right decision. Mr. Rusty Baker Becker just sits down and waiting for DeAndre to take the ball, and then all Jacoby Baker does is put his shoulder down, runs through Mr. Dokes, and just say, hey, you're not strong enough. And this running game has allowed the Board Apes to take the lead. They have over 123 yards rushing right now, and it's because
fans have confirmed the 2-point try.
Backed by community.
Yeah, this is a battle between the best offensive line, highest win rate in the block party, against, I think, the best defensive line, and O-line's winning.
Here's Thomas, breaks free with ease. The 2-point Experian boost, and it's all Board 8 Football Club right now. Keegan Peel would be proud. 38-18.
That's a flag. They're throwing it.
Throw the flag. There it is. AJ knows what it is.
20-point advantage right now for the Board 8 Football Club. And with 8:12 to play, still, of course, we know plenty of time for Aoki to make a move, but right now it is looking good for Board 8 to advance to the People's Championship.
It's very possible. It's very possible, especially in this wonderful league called FCF. But being down 20 points is very hard for anybody.
And we are just getting started here tonight. The playoffs have begun. In our next game, Zappers taking on the defending champs and the Should Have Been Stars, formerly the Wild Aces. That will follow here from Pullman Yards as we're back to live action. And someone other than Patrick Smith coming up with the football for Aoki as Joseph Boykin, one of the leaders in this fan-controlled football league. When we talk about receptions and reception yards and touchdowns, he's in the top 3 in all those categories. He has his first grab on the night.
Yeah, he's like Devontae Adams right now of the Green Bay Packers for Aoki. Him and Mitch Kidd, they have a wonderful connection, but today is just they're not figuring anything out, and this is his first reception of the whole day. Let's see if they can try to squeeze something out in these next 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's almost like Devontae Adams doesn't play there anymore. That connection is gone. Him and Rodgers is gone because he's over with the Raiders.
We don't know what that connection look like yet. Yeah. We've seen what it looked like in college, but we don't know what it look like in the NFL.
Ready, set, go.
7-yard pickup. 2nd and 3. Kittle let it go. Tipped up and coming back for it. Patrick Smith not there. Excellent coverage from Samuel Brown.
Sambo Brown, that's my boy. Again, from ELAC, Eastern LA Community College, before he went over to Kentucky State. Coming back and making the play. We take a look at the fan IQ here for Aoki. Jay Libb still leading the way after a big last weekend. King Apollo was the fan representative here, and they're not gaining a lot of points today. I wouldn't say it's all just because of the play calls, but also just this offense has not been clicking. They have not been able to find anything. I like the shot downfield, but he did have his tight end wide open underneath here in that last play, and Mitch just isn't seeing the field like we're used to seeing him dice things up.
And even when he has opportunities to make these throws, that's the throw that he makes on a regular basis. He was behind his receiver, Patrick Smith, and you would normally see him make these throws, and it's just unlike him. He's a little bit rattled right now.
The give to Ballard, who's been fairly quiet, and looks like he may be stopped shy of a first down. Remember, Aoki, they've used their when he's flipped the field. They've used their progressive 5th down, so they're in a tough spot here on this upcoming 4th down.
Our side judge, I'm not sure if we're getting a replay of that, but our side judge who's setting up the 4th down and the short symbol, kind of got nicked by one of the drone cameras there. I'm sure it'll be a great angle later on. But again, one of the cool things about FCF, the multi-view function on Twitch. We have so many different camera angles. We've got the sky cam, we've got the traditional cams, we've got the helmet cams, and the drone camera. You can take a look at all of them over at twitch.tv/FCF.
Cornhole cam.
Cornhole cam, I like that.
Aoki 2 for 4 on 4th downs. This is a must-have here. Remember, in a perfect world, they'd score, and we were closing in on 5 minutes. They could activate that comeback rule. Let's see what they have on 4th and 1. They go to Ballard, and he will do enough to get that first down, driving forward before being stopped by Charles Barnes.
Ballard in this situation, instead of bouncing like he's been doing all game, he made sure, let me get my head down and make sure that I get this first down. The trenchmen, they set up a solid line, solid front, get a push, and all they needed was 1 yard, and Ballard just followed them in and was able to get literally 1 yard to get this first down.
.430 to play. Aoki running low on time here in this semifinal matchup. Should have been Stars, Zappers to follow here from Pullman Yards in Atlanta. all leading up to next Saturday's People's Championship to decide our overall winner in season 2.0.
Normally I would say, hey, they need to hurry up, but you really don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fans. Each play takes about a minute.
Kidd lets it go to the end zone, tipped up. Is that a grab? No, incomplete. Went down to the near corner looking for Darren Dowdell, the tight end.
That was good coverage by Hoskins. He's on the edge right there, and that was Hoskins.
It's Tobias Cook.
Oh, it's Tobias Cook. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I seen Hoskins on the screen. I'm sorry about that. But that was good. That was good coverage by Tobias Cook right here. But you have to come down with this catch. I just watched a documentary earlier where Randy Moss said, hey, if the receiver touched the ball, you know who fault it is? The receivers. And this is an opportunity for you to go to the next round, for you to go to the People's Championship. You have to come down with this ball right here, Mr. Dowdell.
Yeah.
You have to come down with it. And unfortunately, these are the situations where big-time players have to make these big-time plays, and they're letting these plays slip away from them.
This is tough because there aren't any wide-open options right now for Mitch.
Let's see where Kidd goes on second down. Has time here again, throwing on the run. That's good to Ballard. Tripped up at the last second. Cherry there again. He's making all the plays tonight.
Who does that? There are very few players, although yourself, of course, that can both go after the ball, swat it, and still catch it by the ankles here, Shays.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is very bad by Cecil Cherry. And it's a good but bad as well because he actually went for the ball and he should have been focused on his man. So if he would have focused on his man, he could have played through the ball with his near hand, but he went for the ball. But on the way of going for the ball, he was falling and made the tackle. So this is actually a very impressive play that he made right here. But if we was in the teach tape, Cecil knows, hey, I need to actually go with my near hand, make sure that I can secure the tackle if I don't hit the ball as well. But he kind of lucked up in this situation right here.
Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good.
Bad meaning good because it's 31.
So that replay brought to you by Great Clips. Look great, feel great, perform great. Little high snap, Kidd hangs on, fires it. He was looking for Smith, who was not ready for it. And that will bring us to a 4th and 1.
I got the blitz. I got the blitz.
And you can hear Mitch saying, I got blitz, had to get rid of it.
Hey, ref, if he's moving, that's a penalty. Can we throw that flag?
You can hear Kidd and Coach Lauda both filling in the official, looking for a penalty. In the meantime, check out the TO Zone, exclusive coverage airing now on the Fubo Sports Network. Terrell Owens and others live here from Pullman Yards. And you can catch it all now on the Fubo Sports Network.
Aoki, first and final timeout of the second half. 30 seconds.
Aoki will use their timeout here in the second half with 1:14 to play, facing a critical 4th and 1. They are in need of a score and then some magic. And we've talked about Mitch Kidd, a finalist for Offensive Player of the Year. 7 of 18 tonight, 62 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception through the air. Rushing, 7 carries, 59 yards, 1 touchdown. Passing it a bit better here in the second half, 4 of 8. But Aoki fans, I think, Degon, have become accustomed to him just lighting it up when they need something big.
Yeah, and it's been very difficult. Just hats off to this heavy hitters defensive backfield. I knew they were really good, but they're going up against a big test here. Great receivers. You got speed with Malik Iliad. You've got the all-arounders with Boykin and with Patrick Smith Jr., and they've been up to the task on every single one. And also shout out to these defensive ends that have had to chase the tight ends. Mitch hasn't been able to connect there as well. And so I think it's partially hats off to the defense and partially on Mitch, who's just not looked comfortable. He's missed a couple open ones.
On this play, I expect some type of drag type of concept, but I don't see it right now. But that's what they were trying to do last time.
Just needing 1 yard. Ballard pushing forward. He will get it as Cook takes him down from behind, but not before he falls across the 15. That was a must-have. On a 4th down as Aoki hoping for some end-of-game magic here. Mitch Kidd has done it before, but facing a 20-point deficit, and you can't help but think about the 6 points that have been left on the table here on the point-after chances.
All right, well, with that last run, it's going to roll us to 1 minute, and Aoki is going to be a big mountain to climb here.
Huge mountain to climb.
High scoring
is in
first
effect
half.
Going forward. Media timeout.
And now we've come to the 1 minute mark. Just a couple of TDs in this second half as the defenses have really shown through. We'll take a timeout and come back. 1 minute left in our first playoff game of the night. Board Ape looking to hold off any Aoki Magic. Welcome back. Well, we've told you all season long about how impressive our drones are here at Fan Control Football. They give you amazing angles. They bring you inside the play, and sometimes they deliver drinks. What can't our drones do? Flying into one of our luxury suites here, and a fresh Coke has been delivered. Drink up, FCF fans.
Yeah, I know you got VIPs. That's a CIP. A Coke important person getting that delivered by our drones. And again, the drone cameras and the drone camera pilots have been fantastic all season long, bringing looks that you just don't get anywhere else. Love it. Great job, team.
You guys
Shazier and Deegan, I know you guys have been keeping track. That's now 2 things that have not been delivered to us. Yeah. Wendy's and cans of Coke.
You guys want to see what the roof look like? If I get the drone.
You want to see how to break a drone? Let's give it to Ryan Shazier. Tipped up, almost intercepted. That would have been huge from Grogan and likely spelled a finish for Aoki in this one. Instead, it'll be second down.
Wow. Ballard also got lit up on that while he came back for it. But just nothing's working.
It was that close, Cecil
Please
Cherry.
reset the game clock to 53 seconds.
Like, nothing is working. Screens are supposed to be safe plays, Shays. It's like,
Please
all right,
reset it to
yeah, it's a
5-3.
high percentage chance. You know, we'll see what happens. But just blown up again.
Screens are very successful plays if you're not running man-to-man defense. If you're running a man-to-man defense, so it's 2 things about screens. If you're running a screen play and it's man-to-man defense, your linemen have to get onto that linebacker pretty fast, because if the linebacker gets there, it's over with. But they can be really well on zone coverage because the linebacker's already dropping back. But in man, you try to get closest to your man as possible. And Cecil Cherry understands when the running back is coming into the line of scrimmage like that, he doesn't normally run a route like that. So it's more of a man coverage.
Kidd on second down, lets it fly to the corner, trying to hang on. That would have been an epic catch for Patrick Smith, looking to trap it against the body of the defender, Samuel Brown, but not to be, and we're looking at third down but a flag.
52.
Well, Mitch Kidd's been waiting on this.
Goal and an automatic first down.
So a big roughing the passer call against Cecil Cherry. This time called against the linebacker for Board Ape Football Club. Let's take a second look, courtesy of Great Clips.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to be honest, that's very questionable.
These are big hits, man.
That's very questionable. You get two steps. You get 2 steps. He's just a big hitter, so sometimes it looks a little bit uglier than you want it to look. When you have franchise quarterbacks, tag players, when you have keepers, you don't want them really getting hit like that, and you got to protect the quarterback.
Third penalty there against Board Ape, and Cecil Cherry told us earlier in the year, from Polk County in Florida, said we're just built different down there, and part of that build is drilling quarterbacks.
Yeah. Ray Lewis drilled a few. Vince Williams, my good cohort at Ohio State, we used to call it shake and bake. And who you think I was?
Were you shake?
Yeah, I was definitely shake because he was the one baking people. He was the one baking people. I like to hit hard, but he is a lot harder than me. So, and he's from the same area as Cecil Cherry. So
it's just crazy to see, like,
Let's roll.
Mitch Kidd's shoes so often.
Ready, set, go.
First and goal after the penalty. Kidd, a big lane, decides to throw to the back of the end zone. They had to have it. They get it. A touchdown to Joseph Boykin. His 8th TD on the year and keeps hope alive for Aoki.
Yeah, like, these are the contested plays that Mitch has all day long. Nobody is open. They have to do the backyard football, go this way, try to make some space because the DBs are all over him as you take a look at it one more time.
Mitch is just sitting in the pocket. He gets out. The reason this was able to happen is because of man coverage. They do a scramble drill, but unfortunately, Mr. Stiggers, he couldn't grab it. This is just textbook getting out of pocket, pro-style quarterback that we're seeing right now, and this is just a laser, and Stiggers couldn't do anything about it.
Man, so Aoki fans still alive. still got something going here. We go with the extra point. Important here.
11-play drive, looking to cap it off here, and they finally convert for an Experian boost worth 2. They'll need every point. Trailing now 38-26, and now comeback
They will have
rule.
a 4th down play from the 10-yard line to make the line of game and continue their series.
So remember, on this comeback rule, it starts as a 4th down on your own 10-yard line. You need to get a 1st down, and then you can operate offense as usual. And they can keep doing it, so they could score and then go to it again.
Yeah, and the last time we saw this in this specific situation where a team was down 3 scores was Glacier Boys. This was the game where Devlin Isidore got hurt.
8 Okie fans are also voting on a power play.
Chris Barrett came in, scored once, scored twice, and they fell short on the 3rd drive. Again, this is like our onside kick. So you get one opportunity, one shot here from the 10-yard line to get a 1st down. Got to get all 10 yards. Otherwise, it's a turnover. The other team gets it. And Board 8 Football Club, they've been so prolific on offense, you assume that's going to be all she wrote.
Look at some of our fan faces here in our Ballers Collective Showdown. And now the vote underway for the Gatorade Power Play. And you typically like to try and use this when you have a full set of downs, but beggars can't be choosers here for 8 Okie. This would give them a 7-on-6 advantage for this one play. And remember, fans, I think so often we see it, Degon, the feeling is you've got to go for the house on this 4th down. You just need 10 yards.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good one where Mitch Kidd uses his legs. Go ahead, spread it out, send 2 of your 3 routes deep, which is what we're seeing here. We're actually seeing 4 routes deep, 3 routes deep plus the running back getting out, and then let Mitch run.
The fans
Mitch
have voted to use
versus
the power play.
Cecil Cherry, and Cecil Cherry gets taken out.
One player until a 1st down is made, touchdown, or offensive turnover.
Yeah, Cecil Cherry gets taken out because they're using the power play. I like this here by the fans. It's generally what we've seen a lot of the power plays used for when you're from behind. Use it here on this comeback rule play.
And Mitch Kidd sees Cherry go to the offense and says, thank you, finally. This man is going to leave me alone at least for one play.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Oh, just kidding, guys.
Cecil Cherry's now moved to defensive end, bro. That's so scary.
I spoke too soon.
Because he's going to make sure that he can guard this tight end in this situation so that they don't take advantage of this opportunity. So now that's going to put Stiggers on the running back.
Comeback rule in effect. They need a 1st down. Kidd, good to Ballard. They'll get the 1st down. Ballard up to the 25, and that keeps it going here for 8 Okie. Remember, Board 8, they have not trailed since 5:42 left in the 1st half. They have been dominating since then. 8 Okie trying to work their way back in. Second look courtesy of Great Clips.
The reason this play was able to happen is because they took out one of the defenders, so they had to go in man-to-man defense. And with Stiggers so far off of Ballard, it allowed Ballard to be able to create on his own right now.
Fans, don't miss your chance to watch the People's Championship. It goes down here at Pullman Yards next Saturday night. Get your tickets now. Go to fcf.tixer.com and you can see who will claim the Season 2.0 title.
And hang out with Kyle. Still vibing in the 8 Okie jersey. He hasn't switched teams yet. I know he has every jersey, but go get your tickets, come watch. As 8 Okie still trying to mount this comeback and make their way to the People's Championship.
Here's Kidd. He'll throw downfield, a battle for it, and trying for another one of those one-hand catches was Patrick Smith, but a little bit beyond the receiver with now 29 seconds left.
Hey, Okie's defense, the heavy hitters, one thing they understand is, hey, we have the best DBs in the league right now. And we have Cecil Cherry. He's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year. And if you watch this play, Cecil Cherry is coming right down the middle. So Mitch Kidd is really hard to step up into the pocket because if he steps up and not throws it off of his back foot, he's getting drilled by Cecil Cherry. So he just want to make sure that he can get it down there, gives the receiver an opportunity. But Sam Brown is playing great coverage, is not allowing that to happen. So this man-to-man defense is really putting a lot of pressure on this 8 Okie's offense.
All right, chat. How many of you out there are brave enough to step into a pass with Cecil Cherry? Because a lot of y'all are giving Mitch Kidd a lot of crap when it's something like that, when it's Cecil Cherry in his face. I'll get upset with Mitch when he's missing these screens, when he's missing these like dig routes, but on those where Cecil comes untouched, it is dangerous.
Under 30 seconds. We'll stop after every play. Here's Kidd. Plenty of time. Lets it fly. Good to Boykin. Boykin spinning, and he is stopped shy of the goal line with 21 seconds left. Things could get very interesting here if Aoki can punch this one in.
Aoki put a lot of pressure with this motion. It put Cecil Cherry on Boykins, and he was trying to read the quarterback eyes, but you can't read the quarterback eyes and play man-to-man at the same time. It allowed Boykins to get wide open. Mitch Kidd finds him in the zone, not in the zone, but just in the defense, and now they have a second and goal in the Progressive Blue Zone.
Yeah, and this was maybe one of the shortcomings of this defensive back grouping. Not many of them, but they like to go for the home run hit. And Quantez Stiggers there, he tried to knock him out of the game. Instead of tackling him at the 11-yard line, it was a nice little spin-off bounce, and now they're at the 2. So again, we're getting close here as Aoki making it interesting. You can still run the ball here.
It's funny you say that because it seems like now Aoki has started to get that pass game going a little bit. They can't forget about the run.
And people in the chat were saying, Mitch always does this late. It's always these late runs here, but it might still be enough time that he's able to get it done.
Kidd 10 for 24, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. Smith and Boykin heating up as of late. Here's the fake toss. Kidd keeps it himself. Touchdown! Aoki's still alive with 17 seconds to play.
What is going on right now? 17 seconds. Mitch Kidd fakes the pitch. I don't even know if that was the play call. He fakes the pitch, said, I'm taking this touchdown. I'm about to score. And, man, this game, this is what I love about fair control football. You don't know what you're going to get. They're up 3 touchdowns with a minute left in the game, and now Mitch Kidd is walking like Conor McGregor because he feels like they're going to win this game.
Aoki has outscored Board Ape 20-8 in this second half thus far. Here's a second look via Great Clips. And now a 2-point conversion, and this is big. 38-32. Looking for Boykin. Oh, through his hands. The defense is there from Mike Lee. And that keeps things at a 1-score game. They can keep rolling with the comeback rule with 17 seconds left.
4th down to make 10 yards.
What a turn of events that could unfold here. If Aoki can score again, they'd be staring at a 2-point conversion to take the lead.
You don't understand what it feels like to be on the sideline and have no control.
Yeah.
So right now, that is how DeAndre Francois and this Board Apes offense is right now. They understand that they have one of the best defenses in the league on defense. They've been playing great all game, but they're just standing on the sideline and just hoping the best from their defense. And I wouldn't be surprised if Board Ape gets in man-to-man coverage like they've been doing all game, have Cecil Cherry go on a blitz and say, hey, this is our best play. You guys come up with your best play, and let's see what happens. Right
Yeah, Francois just huddled up the defense to say something while you were saying that. He was like, I don't like this feeling. I'm going to do something about it. But remember, last time on this 4th down comeback rule, Aoki used the power-up. It was 7v6. Now it's 7v7, and Cecil Cherry's looking to hit somebody.
Right now, like I said, Board Ape is in man-to-man defense.
Aoki needs a 1st down to keep hope alive.
Oh my gosh.
Kidd in space, a run, he'll dive across the 20. And it looks like they will spot him with 1st down yardage. Mitch Kidd picking up the 1st down.
Wow.
For Aoki with 11 seconds left, that gives Aoki a 1st down and a chance to go for the game-tying score.
I wish you could have seen it. The offensive coaches, right there, that coach right there, Marvin, coach ran down the sideline saying, that's a 1st down. We still got it. We're still alive. And Aoki, 11 seconds. That's 2 to maybe 3 plays.
That's what we do now.
I can't believe it.
This is it right here. This is what we do.
We just got a biggie back.
Unrelated, but maybe equally important. The Wendy's has finally showed up, guys.
Yeah, we did it. Way to go, chat. That was all you guys.
Thank you, chat.
Our long wait is over. The Wendy's Biggie Bag has arrived.
Give me one. I'm going to eat it right now while we call this next play.
And we'll get a timeout called here. 11 seconds left.
He ain't got no more timeouts.
And I don't think Aoki has a timeout.
That's a penalty.
They used their only second half timeout earlier.
No, it was Bourdain Football Club that called it.
That's a flag. They don't have a timeout. They just said it.
This is confusing.
Uh-oh.
Hey, huddle.
Timeout. Board 8.
Uh-oh.
30 seconds.
Here we go.
Oh, so it was Board Ape that called the timeout. Excuse me. I thought it was Aoki that used the timeout.
Hey, we good. They got it.
Man, this is a crazy situation right here. So now you have 30 yards for your opportunity to go into the People's Championship. You've been in this opportunity all year. Liv said it earlier, right after the half. They've been having this moment the whole season. They've been behind, fighting back, getting their chance, giving themselves an opportunity to stay in the game. And now we're gonna see if Mitch Kidd and this offense can pull out a second half victory. They're up, like you said, 20 points to 8 in the second half.
Now remember, they got the first down on the comeback rule, so now they have a new set of downs. Clock stops after every play. Let's see where they go on first down. Here's Kidd throwing wide open. Boykin to the 15. He is out of bounds with 5 seconds left. And Aoki closing in on the end zone as they have turned the tables. This Board Ape offense that played so well tonight, they have had to watch helplessly as Mitch Kidd engineering a comeback here in the playoffs.
It's been the play that's been giving them yards after yards all year long. It's been this mesh route. They set a pick on Cecil Cherry. Boykins ran through and just got a wide open opportunity, and then now they only have 13 yards until, hey, give us an opportunity for us to get into the People Championship.
Yeah, 2 things. One, they call that play again when Bourdain Football Club are not in man coverage. It was zone, so it was a nice little like rock, paper, scissors. They won, and that play took 6 seconds. That was a lot of time.
This is the game.
5 seconds left now. Aoki needing a score to tie. Here's Kidd to the end zone. A tie-up, incomplete. There are still 2 seconds left. Aoki wanting a flag. Coaching staff in the face of the official and having to head back to the huddle. Cooler heads prevailing. We will have time for one more play for Aoki. 2 seconds left.
Coach is losing it right
to
now.
go for the tie.
You can see how much it means to him. Again, remember, these coaches call offense for both sides, but you want these moments. You want your team to win here. And in this case, just a little bit short there. A lot of contact. What do we think, chat? I'm seeing a couple of flags, but what do we think?
That was definitely hand fighting. He was pushing just as much as the DB was touching him. So this is an opportunity. You can't ask for the pass interference when the refs see you with your hand extension just as much as the DB has his hand extension.
Looking for the tight end, Dogdale, and if you're an Aoki fan, it's almost surreal right now. There was a moment, you're down 20, you have to think that this one is not going to go your way, and they have come all the way back. 1 play left to go for the tie, and an opportunity to then, if they were to score, go for the win on a 2-point man-up conversion. But first things first, 2nd and 10, final play of regulation. A must-have for Aoki, a chance for a season-saving defensive stop for Board Ape. Hard count for Kidd, no one jumping. They'll send Ballard.
Oh.
Looks as if he wants that flag.
Oh, they want more yardage. They want a different play.
Smart.
Offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 2nd down.
Yeah, that looked really weird.
What's going on?
Wait a minute, Coach.
They want a different play and to give themselves a little bit more yardage. So that was actually a smart play by them because it was a dead ball. If the clock was running, that could have been a running clock, but with it being a dead ball, it was no running clock.
Only one. OG. Oh, everybody loves OG.
Again, gamification here in full effect, not only by our fans calling the plays, but by our players. Again, coaches can call timeout to get the play changed, but you can also just false start. Sure.
That'll regenerate the play call opportunity. And remember, 2nd and 15, 2nd and 20. What does it matter, right? You need a touchdown.
Nobody wants to go home.
Again, final play, barring a penalty. 2 seconds left. 2nd and 15 from the 18. Adoki must reach pay dirt. Here's Kidd.
He's got time.
Clock is at zeros. Kidd still with time. Stepping up, stepping back. Kidd letting fly to the corner of the end zone. Intercepted! Board Ape Football Club will hang on. Samuel Brown puts an exclamation point on this one. Board Ape headed to the People's Championship.